But this is a great day in the city of Tuskegee because we recognize Rosa Parks and the need for the Rosa Parks National Holiday. She sat down to stand up for all of us, not only African Americans, but the entire nation was affected by what she did by sitting down at the right time, having the courage, with the right people behind her, supporting her as we need to do. Support those who stand up for us, who stand up for what's right.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. From the county, and our county commissioners, Chairman Maxwell, County Commissioner. Right here. There you go, Mike. Right on time. Go right ahead.
Good afternoon, everybody. This is a great day for Macon County, Tuskegee, and the whole county. And we're just proud to get this started. And thank you, Mayor Ford, for organizing.
Thank you, Your Honor. We are today everyone's important, everyone is equal. We're just all here thanks to what Mrs. Parks did. It is my honor to introduce Mrs. Susan McCauley, who is the niece of Mrs. Rosa Parks. Let's give her a good old Tuskegee welcome back home. She was with us on yesterday at the Georgia legislature, and they voted unanimously, the Georgia legislature, in honor and in support of the call for a national holiday in honor of Mrs. Rosa Parks. We want to give her an opportunity to say hello to everyone. Yes.
Yes, it's so good to see everyone here, and I am honored to be here. My father and Rosa Parks were brother and sister. So I am one of 13 nieces and nephews. We grew up in Detroit. So it's wonderful for me to be here today in the place that that my aunt and my father grew up in. They were raised in Alabama, Pine Level, Tuskegee, Montgomery. So we're going to get the opportunity, hopefully today, to visit her birth home, the place that she was actually born in. So it's an honor, and looking forward to this march with all of you. Thank you.
Right.
Yes.
Right. Chairman Maxwell, let's give him a hand. Come on around and say a word. Mike Berry, His Honor, has already said a word, but I want our chairman. Come on, Mr. Chairman. Just say a word. The Honorable Louis Maxwell. Go ahead. Just to welcome everyone.
Welcome to Macon County. I know Commissioner Berry already done so, but I join him and welcome you this day. This is a great day in Macon County and Tuskegee, Charlotte, Notasoga, and Franklin.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As always. Let me just say this. This morning when I called Susan, I said it's raining in Atlanta, it's raining in Tuskegee, and because of the rain, we may need to cancel the march. But you know what she says to me? She said, no, don't cancel this march. We're going to march. Rain did not stop the movement and is not going to stop this march. So we are going to march and she's going to march with her. And to make sure that we're well protected, we're going to have the first woman, the second woman chief of police lead us. Say a word on behalf of everyone.
Thank you, everyone. It's a pleasure and an honor to be here during this celebration. Thank you.
And to back her up, we got to have the sheriff.
Hey, just to say what everybody else says, it's definitely an honor and a pleasure to be here. It's definitely an honor and a pleasure to be on such a joyous occasion for Rosa Parks. We're going to make sure we continue with her legacy.
All right. I see Councilman Whitehead, or any other councilman was here, and all the elected officials, Judge Menifee, you'll always be our judge. Our state, Lord, in the state room, I didn't recognize you when you said it earlier. No, seriously.
Good morning, everybody. And in the tradition of our honorable board, we are working on a resolution in the state of Alabama endorses a holiday for Rosa Parks.
This is the Honorable Pevelyn Warren. I thought she was a teenage sweetheart. Seriously, Your Honor, you would have been so proud of your colleagues in the Georgia legislature. They really turned out on yesterday, and they passed it unanimously.
We're trying to plan for our Black History Month to have this done before then.
Outstanding, outstanding. And so what we're ready to do now, is that our circuit clerk?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
yes, sir.
I couldn't tell. Put up, yeah, go ahead, circuit clerk.
No, I just want to say hello to everybody, and I'm so glad. And, I'm overjoyed to be part of this event. All right.
Miss Diane Robinson, come on around and join the Historic Commission in supporting this. We're happy to have them. So let's do this in the interest of time, Mr. Gray. This is the man who was a lawyer for Mrs. Rosa Parks, a lawyer for Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., and he's our lawyer today. He was then. On yesterday, he was fighting in the court over there to get the county's land back so that that Confederate statue can be moved, and he's still fighting. Let's put our hands together and let Attorney Fred Gray know how much we appreciate what he did for Mrs. Rosa Parks and what he's still doing for freedom and justice and democracy in this country. Attorney Gray.
Thank you so much, ma'am, my friend, my neighbor, my representative, and all those things. And thank you for kind of getting us all together. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, for what you're doing. And thank our chairman of the commission and all of our elected officials. I'm just happy that I knew Mrs. Parks, and she kind of took me under her wing. She was secretary of the Montgomery branch of the NAACP. She was also in charge of the youth. I really met her when I was a student at Alabama State College for Negroes between 1948 and 1951. And after coming back from law school, she just kind of took me under her wing. She helped to have a reception when I opened my law office. And then we met almost every day from that time until the day on, and including the day of her arrest on December 1st, 1955. So I am just delighted. And while I had talked with her and I kind of didn't know what she was going to do, but I knew if the opportunity ever presented itself, it would be so, and she would want me to be her lawyer. Happy to have been it. Happy to be your lawyer now. Happy to have been the lawyer for Tuskegee and Macon County, and just to see these changes. And we are all happy for what Mrs. Parks did, happy for what everybody else has done, but we need to realize that the struggle for justice continues. We're having more problems. Now we're almost having to go back to where we were. So don't be alarmed. Let's do what we can to be sure that her birthday becomes a national holiday, and let us continue to work until justice rolls down like water and righteousness like a mighty stream.
All right. Sylvester, come on up here and lead us in We Shall Overcome or something to get this party going. And we're going to line up 2 by 2. Come on, you and I. Let's go on. Come on. All right. I got you. All right. All right. Woo.
My song.
Go ahead. Whatever you want to sing.
Father.
Oh, yeah.
Go ahead, man. I shred. Yes, sir.
What's
my hand. Yeah. To thee. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. No. I know. Oh yeah. If thou would draw thyself from me. Whoa, well, thou shalt I go. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. What did thou only son and do before I drew breath? And do here it is. Hallelujah. Thee before I drew my breath, and oh, what pain! You sang it, and oh, what death shall kill my soul from death. Yes, come sir. Oh
Lord has not given us the spirit of fear. No, we are not afraid. Yeah. We are not afraid. We are not afraid today.
For Rosa Parks because she was for us. And if it wasn't for us, we would be having definitely a harder time than we have it now. So let's go out and vote so we can make our voices heard. Thank you.
Yeah. Anyone else? Anybody, other elected officials? All right. Oh yeah, Bart, let me just say, here's the other, this is the mayor of East Montgomery, West Montgomery. He always invites us to his New Year's Day annual parade. And boy, he had thousands of people out there. William Boyd, who is the honorary mayor and the mayor of West Montgomery. Let's welcome him to Tuskegee.
Hey, just real quick, I said in the voice of John Lewis, let's go get into some good trouble.
Okay. All right. All right.
How I got
Okay, we're going to have welcome, let's see, who's next? Okay, our mayor, the Honorable Tony Haygood. Mr. Mayor, and thank you so much for opening up our city complex so it can be used for this purpose. And also, we're proud of our mayor because this year he will become the president of the Alabama League of Municipalities. My mayor. Well, I didn't know you could sing.
Just coming on out.
Yes, sir.
Again, I think we're the afternoon, but good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
And thank each one of you for being here. And I'm going to say that because you need to understand how important it is for you to be here, for the young people to be here. Thank you. Thank yourself. Thank Councilman, former Mayor Ford, for all he's done in bringing us here. So give yourselves a round of applause. And I'm going to ask you to all stand. Let's give Mayor Ford, our councilman, a round of applause for putting this together. This is important because in so many cases we forget to do things. As we're fighting for a national holiday for Rosa Parks, I was in Washington 3 days this week representing the Alabama League of Municipalities. And when you stand in Washington, D.C., and you meet some of the people there, you begin to understand where it started. You talk about Frazier, you talk about Rosa Parks, you talk about Dr. Martin Luther King. There are billions of dollars. I'm not talking about millions. Billions of dollars getting ready to come to our cities, to our counties, Chairman, to our communities because you voted. Chairman Maxwell said out there when we were outside, vote. Result of that vote, we're going to get a lot of money. Cities all over the United States are going to get a tremendous amount of money to take care of the needs of the people, which hasn't been done necessarily in the past. That money is coming to our communities. And it's here because of people like Rosa Parks who sat down and stand up for us. And we got to remember that. See, too many cases, people are trying to change history right now. That's why I thank Councilman Ford for making this program come forward in terms of how important it is to us and for us to understand. So I don't want to be long, but I just want us to be aware of how much this means. So as I was there in Washington, D.C., I did get a chance to see Senator Tuberville, who's on the other side. But we got to work with them to get resources too. But I'll tell you, it was an emotional moment to see the people who came from the White House to meet with us, African American. The top person from the White House was a young African American gentleman. Another young lady representing formally with the African American Mayors Association. She's very sharp. Of another culture. Another young lady from an Indian culture was there. What Washington now represents was started because of people like Rosa Parks, and we can't forget that. So let's not take that for granted. The final thing I want to share with you, I was there with Mayor Opalaka, who's our president this year, I'm vice president. I was there with Greg Hartman, the chairman of the League of Municipalities, the director. So when we got in the car, he asked the gentleman where he was from. We had a Uber. The driver, he asked him what country he's from. He said, I'm going to tell you my story. His story's been in the New York Times and the New Yorker magazine. He said, I came to this country years ago. He said, my brothers who went to school here, Cal Polytech and one of the other institutes in the North, they came home to get me when our country came apart. He said, but it's because so many people got killed. He said, 60 people in my government got killed. He said, my brothers came to left the United States, came home and kidnapped me to bring me to America so I could be free. He said, so we don't need to take for granted our freedom here in the United States. He said, I was here last year and had to pick up people who came here to tear this country apart. He said, so I'm telling everybody who rides in with me that we need to take advantage of what we have here and not let it get away. He said, democracy is very important to be maintained. And he said, there are people who will take it away. He said, I've lived that. He said, I've had family members killed and that type of thing. So I just want us to remember how important it is to raise these things up and look at our history and people like Rosa Parks and what she did and her courage. Because we can talk about it today. I can stand in Washington, feel good and free and ask for resources and everything else. But she stood out there when it was dangerous. She could have been shot, she could have been killed, her family could have been ostracized and things held back from her, but she did it because she knew what was right. So stand up for what is right wherever you are. If you need the courage, think about Rosa Parks. Thank you.
And the chairman of our county government, the Honorable Chairman Lewis Maxwell, boy, I can't thank this man enough. He's always there when we need him. Let's let our chairman know how much we appreciate him. Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you, Mayor Haygood, all of our dignitaries here, Mr. McCauley, University representative, all of you. I was really excited today, and I'm still excited. But I want us to really take this legacy from a serious note. Had it not been for the likes of Rosa Parks, we would not have no female African-American vice president of these United States, the most powerful woman in the world, thanks to Rosa Parks. Had it not been for Rosa Parks, we will not, may not, will not have, but I think we will, the first African-American female on the Supreme Court bench in the history of this country. And we don't apologize for it. We don't apologize. People talking about how it degrades black women for him to announce that he's going to have a black woman. Black women, black men, don't listen to that. You be proud. I am proud when he said it on the campaign trail, and I'm proud that he's still saying it. It doesn't matter to me out of the group that's been shown who gets elected. Because all of the ones that I have seen more qualified than any male that sits on that Supreme Court right now. And you know what? They say that she's going to represent the minority. But anybody like me that knows the average black female, you can be in the minority, but their voices will be heard. Her voice will be heard, and her influence will be outstanding. They just don't know, because they don't have the experience of really working with strong and powerful black women. Because it was the black women that put Joe Biden in the White House. It was the black women that sent Donald Trump home. And it will be the black women who are going to lead this movement to make sure Donald Trump never gets back into the White House again. So let's go to the poll and vote and let our voices be heard. From Tuskegee, Alabama, to Washington, D.C. God bless you.
Dr. Cham, I thought you were a student. Come on around here and say a word. This man is representing the president of Tuskegee University, and we're going to do this thing together. Right?
Thank you, Mayor Ford. Thank you, Mayor Haygood. And thank you to all of you.
Yeah.
On behalf of President Morris, I bring you greetings from Tuskegee University. The reason I'm here, and President Morris probably knows it, that's why she decided that I would come here and speak, is because I am a firm believer in the oneness.
Yes.
What do I mean by that? People like Rosa Parks, we tend to think about them in terms of African American history, in terms of black history. Yeah. And I want to remind everybody that Rosa Parks is national history.
Yes.
It is international history. You see, the thing we refer to as Pan-Africanism, the idea that all black people are one, did not originate in Africa.
All right, tell it.
It originated with people from the diaspora, from the Caribbean, from these United States, who, while searching for themselves, helped the African discover herself. And I have friends who I usually remind one fact, that the most important movement in history is the civil rights movement.
Yes, sir.
And when I tell them that, they tell me, well, we had in Europe something called the transformation movement, the Reformation movement. But I tell them if a movement is measured by its impact, nobody dares to compare any movement with the civil rights movement. What did the civil rights movement do? Rosa Parks refused to give up her seat. And in the process, she reaffirmed our place in history. She helped us get our political rights, our civil rights in this country. But most importantly, we forget it quite often, the civil rights movement helped usher the independence movement in Africa.
Yes, Lord.
But for the civil rights movement, African independence would be delayed. That means, but for the civil rights movement, the freedom of black people all around the world would be delayed.
Yes.
So we thank her for that. And I want to assure everybody here that Tuskegee will do its part, Tuskegee University, to make sure that this becomes recognized as a national holiday and as an international holiday.
That's what I'm talking about. United as one. We're pleased to also have the chairperson of our Historic Preservation Commission, the Honorable Diane Robinson, is going to come now. Let's give her a hand. And I want to thank this commission for preserving our history.
Thank you, Mayor Ford. I still call him mayor, he'll be mayor forever. That's his name now. But I also want to thank the World Conference of Mayors, he's the president of the World Conference of Mayors, and the founding president of the Historic Black Towns and Settlements Alliance. We are joining together with them, the Tuskegee Historic Preservation Commission, to preserve our history. I want to make a note on what Commissioner Maxwell said, Chairman Maxwell said, that the lady who might be, will be on the United States Supreme Court, those people who object to her because they say he's going for minorities, in 10 years, if she stays there, she's a young woman, she'll be representing the majority.
Yes, sir.
Because we, people of color, are becoming the majority. And some of you who are young enough will live to see that.
All right.
And I think it's so important that we tell our history. That's what the commission is about. That's what my other organization that I represent, Tuskegee Repertory Theater, is about. We have to tell our stories. So continue to do that, and thank you, Mayor Ford, for this occasion.
Telling the story in the Historic Black Towns and Settlements Alliance, we have the 3 P's. We preserve, protect, and promote our historic culture and history. It is my honor to introduce to you the man who really got this movement started. When you go to Nashville, Tennessee, the major street and the longest street in Nashville that ends up at the state capital of Tennessee is a street named in honor of Mrs. Rosa Parks. As a matter of fact, Nashville may be the only city in America that has 2 streets named for Mrs. Rosa Parks. And the man who's responsible for this is none other than Moses Fisher. This man has been championing the cause of Mrs. Rosa Parks for years. He came down to her funeral, and he once lived in Detroit, now he lives in Nashville. And on yesterday, we were in Atlanta at the legislature there, and he had a chance to witness that movement in Atlanta, Georgia. I mean, they really have it going on in Georgia. Those lady representatives, those senators in the House and Senate in Georgia took the leadership and got that resolution passed unanimously by the overwhelming male delegation that consists of the Georgia legislature. But they passed it without any objection, calling for a national holiday in honor of Mrs. Rosa Parks. And that's happening in Atlanta. A few weeks ago, I was out in Tulsa, Oklahoma, more than 500 people at Black Wall Street for a black tie affair, passed the resolution there, Eddie Levert and others there. And so this movement is spreading across the country. In California today, they're celebrating. I spoke to the man who pushed for the state holiday in California. They are celebrating out there in California. So all over the nation, I've been asked by Congressman Jim Cooper to be a national leader in this effort and international leader in this effort. So as I go across the country, I see that the momentum is building. And so I want all of us to stand on our feet and give him a good Tuskegee, Macon County welcome. Moses Fisher, the man who first suggested to Congressman Jim Cooper, a white congressman, just happens to be white, but this man is the first man to introduce the legislation. Jim Cooper, the congressman from Nashville, Tennessee, our own Congress lady here in the state of Alabama, as well as in Ohio, Indiana, I guess. Introduced it from the Congresswoman from Ohio, Joyce Beatty, and Terry Sewell from the state of Alabama. So let's welcome him now as he comes forward. Moses Fisher, let's give him a good old Macon County, as Chairman Maxwell would say. Macon County is our county, and Mayor Haygood from our city. Let's welcome Moses Fisher as he comes forward. Moses, thank you for being a champion for Rosa Parks. And this thing continues to push and push and push.
Without question, Mrs. Parks is our mother of the modern day civil rights movement. But I think people need to realize she's more than that. Because before the word stand your ground became so prevalent in our society, it was Mrs. Rosa Parks who demonstrated a peaceful way for people of color to stand their ground. It's obvious she didn't do it in a way that the lunatics are doing today. Because the first lady of civil rights stood her ground by remaining in the seat of a bus, a dangerous segregated bus. And unlike some of the, and I repeat, some of the badge-wearing, gun-toting cowards of our time and hers, Mrs. Parks wasn't packing a deadly firearm when she made her courageous stand. So she was the original believer and demonstrator of what it means for people of color to stand their ground. And I heard the president say last week, and what he said was true, that it's long overdue for a black woman to be on the Supreme Court. And he didn't mean no offense by it, he just used that term. But Mr. President, there's something else that's long overdue. That's a national federal holiday for the woman who changed the course of the nation. So that's what we are working on. And I've been contacting Joyce Beatty's office because I've told her I think we need to try to move forward with this and try to get a vote on it in the spring of this year or maybe the summer, while the Democrats are in control of the House and the Senate. But even if things don't work out too well in November, it doesn't matter. If it takes 10, 15 years, we're going to still keep pushing for the federal. No matter what they do, they won't be able to stop it. They weren't able to stop her on December the 1st, 1955. And the same God that worked through her then is working through us now. So we're going to get the national holiday. But what I need y'all to do, we can't do it all. We got to have corporate America on our side. And we already got the support of Mr. William Clay Ford Jr., the executive chairman of the Ford Motor Company, who was also one of the speakers at Mrs. Parks' funeral. And what's so significant about that, the original bus that Mrs. Parks was arrested on is on display at the Henry Ford Museum in Dearborn, Michigan. So we got your support, but we got to have the support of corporate America. I need y'all to go to the CEOs of Alabama, contact them and tell them we need their support, and they need to send their letters of support to Congresswoman Joyce Beatty, Jim Cooper, Terry Sewell, and I can't pronounce the guy in Arizona. We got a total of 14 co-sponsors right now, so we can't send letters to everybody. What we need, we got to have the support of corporate America, and the people who really they listen to, the professional athletes. When LeBron James speaks, the whole nation listens. We got to have the support of the African American athletes, because really they wouldn't be in the position they in anyway without Mrs. Pauls.
Right.
So they need to realize that you didn't get there on your own. This woman risked her life on December 1st, 1955, because as I understand, about 10 years before that, when they arrested one guy on the bus, they shot him dead. They could have shot her dead, but the thing about it, they couldn't do it because the Holy Spirit was protecting her. They couldn't do one thing to her. So, but anyway, get in touch with the CEOs of the corporations and get in touch with some of these athletes. We got to have their support. Thank you.